Hello, all. Welcome to the Export Fundas podcast. Joining me is Jagatji, the founder of the Global Network. Jagatji, thank you so much for doing this. In a short notice, we had to publish our episode just a couple of days back, but the current United States president had an incredible announcement. He announced the golden card, the golden visa, whatever you want to call it. Very interesting uh, initiative from him. So let's get started straight into the topic. Can you tell us a bit more about the golden card, the golden visa? But before that, before we get straight into this, why do developed countries need immigration? Can we start with that?
Yeah. So, today, Nikhil, today the world economy is $112 trillion. Out of that, US economy is 27 trillion, the largest. And Chinese economy is 9 trillion. And German economy 4.4 trillion. Japanese economy 4.1 trillion. Indian economy is touching 4 trillion. So the developed countries have a challenge with aging population. Number one, there are 15 reasons why this developed country need immigration. One is aging population, and that is why they need to have a demographic balance. Demographic balance not only in terms of country's population but also in public service, because public service is a very important factor of government delivery. Then for economic growth, today, if you see, US is a country of immigrants. President Trump, Elon Musk, past President Obama, Kamala Harris, all are immigrants. You can name, go on naming.
Yeah, at some generational level, like
Right,
yeah.
exactly. So economic growth, workforce expansion, because otherwise it will stagnate. Your skills gap, most important, because as technology is advancing in developed countries, the skill gap is also increasing. So entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship also, because entrepreneurship is risk, and are people taking that risk, or generally immigrants take more risk. Then innovation, technology, and advancement, your social enrichment of the society, global connectivity, right? And very, very interesting international partnerships, public service, infrastructure development. Now I will tell you the foundation of this is competitiveness. The entire world economy runs on competitiveness. So according to me, what is the definition of competitiveness? And this applies to this what President Trump has announced uh, about golden gold visa is four things: efficiently create goods and services which meet global market demand, leading to rising living standard for everybody in the society, and which is sustainable into the future. Efficiently create goods and services means innovation. Innovation will come to a large extent from immigrants, and it is coming. That is how is the history of US particularly, which meets global market demand. Today, if you see, US is a trade deficit country. So that is the second factor of competitiveness which applies to this logic. The third factor is uh, leading to rising living standard for everybody in the society. So naturally, when economic growth is going to come to US, it is going to rise the living standard of everybody there, and which is sustainable into the future. So sustainable into the future over 100 years, for example. And that is why this demographic balance is the fact. So this competitiveness definition itself is a major factor of immigration.
So, continuing to Trump's Gold Card program, can you just educate everyone out there what's the Gold Card program? And more importantly, for a lot of people out there, how does it differ from the EB5 visa in terms of actually the impact it's going to create in US and overall impact? Like, what are the main key differences, or what impact should you face if you were one of the people who have applied or has plans of applying?
So, see, the thing is that, you'll be surprised, Nikhil. There are 112 countries in the world which have got a business immigration program. US also has a business immigration program, which is EB5, investment based. Now, the biggest challenge with EB5, what I found, because a lot of my friends, a lot of my the students from Global Network Institute, they applied for it, is that first of all, it is very uncertain, and there is a very long wait period. Eh, when the program started till date, hardly 10,000 applications have been crossed any year. So the reason for that is, first of all, like, it is, you have to invest in a project which is a startup there, or in a project which is going for expansion, right? And that should create 10 jobs in next 2 years. Now that is a very gray area, and you straight away you commit, you transfer, and you get, and then after 2 years you apply, and then it takes about 5 years, to get and you prove that you got you created that employment. And many businesses, what they did, they pulled. Now suppose they want, because the investment required was between $500,000 to $1.5 million, depending on, because if there is a, you are investing in a rural area or in a low employment area, then you have to invest less. So many of these investment went bankrupt. So then what happens? You don't create, I mean, you don't create jobs, right, for which it was actually meant, and you have to create 10 full-time jobs. So, and another factor is in that children above 21 years don't qualify for the family. So that is again a kind of a challenge, because the people who want to invest, a large percentage of that would be in the middle age, or upper middle age. So that was also something which was so. EB5 from day one, I think even during election campaign, President Trump was very clear that we are going to change not only that but also H1B visa methodology. And I think after this, that should, that there would be announcement on that also, because they may be working on how to go about it. Now this gold card visa which has come, we don't have all details what is happening. It is just a statement he has made. I'm sure they must be working on it, because that's his style. There are different styles of governance, right? One style is you do your whole you homework, and then you announce, and the whole scheme is that he just announce and then you do your homework. That's how he works. So now everybody is running to make it get a clarity on that. But what I understand so far, and looking at what other countries have done, is that it's a buyout. So see, US is a capitalist country. US is a market driven, market oriented country, right? Entrepreneur is at the center of the American economy. And uh, so they are just saying, basically, if you see psychologically, they are saying the value of an American citizen is $5 million. 34 million, 341 million people, population of US. The value for each citizen is $5 million. I mean, that itself is a matter of pride for Americans. That is the value has been put. Uh, and this money, if I'm not wrong, we don't know the details, but will go to the government. And government will do whatever development work, whatever support it needs to give to the underserved segments of society with that money. Today, the deficit of the country is how much, I don't know the figure, but 30, $40 trillion, right? And government spending is large. That is why he has created Doge, $6.2 trillion yearly government spending. And So this the gold card, I believe, would be you pay, and see, in my opinion, it will be successful only if uh, it is fast tracked. See, if it is fast tracked. Now let me share some very interesting data. So today in the world there are 2,781 billionaires, and out of that, US has 813 billionaires, and China is second largest, right, with 406 billionaires, and India is third, 200, then 200 billionaires in India, and then Germany 132, and UK 120, and Russia 73. Interesting. In one of the press conference, somebody asked President Trump, would Russian oligarchs also be invited? He said, yes, I know some of them. They are very good people, right? So he's opening up his mind. And Brazil, 69 billionaires. South Africa. So all BRICS countries, actually, very interesting. Again, all BRICS countries are, there. In Canada, 67 people are billionaires. France, 67. Hong Kong, 55. Okay, that's billionaire. Now you are telling them $5 million. That's a very small percentage of their wealth. That's no issue. Let's look at people who are worth $100 million. 29,350 people.
So Jagat's a couple of things. I mean, people are going to ask you like, what's the source of your data here? So please, I mean, let's make it clear. What's your source?
Source of the data are multiple. These are World Bank figures. These are WTO figures. These are International Monetary Fund (IMF) figures. These are all very reliable figures, so they can all be fact checked, right? And so if you see 100 million valuation people, which is who are called centimillionaires, are 29,350, right? Out of that, 11,000 are from US. But then what it means is 18,000 are outside US.
Absolutely.
And out of that, 6,500 are in China. And very interesting figure, US and China put together is 60% of
Wow.
centimillionaires. Then Germany 2,500, Canada 1,800, France 1,500, UK, Italy 1,100, Japan and India 800. Okay, now let's look at third figure. Because see, all these figures which I am telling you, the numbers may be here or there, some different, not really big, because every source, even IMF source, will be different than World Bank source. I mean, in terms of data, because who is using what parameter, it will depend on that. Now, take third category, people worth $50 million.
Okay.
What is the meaning of that? Now, gold card, they are saying $5 million you have to pay. That is 10% of their net worth. That is 10% of their wealth. Not a big deal. 218,000 people in the world.
Wow.
And out of
Okay.
that, 115,000 from US.
Okay.
53% from US. And
Okay.
then China 24,000, Germany, Canada, France, and India 2,000.
Okay.
Right? And then we come to the fourth category, which is the most interesting according to me, which is $10 million to $50 million net worth people, between 10 to 50. That figure is 60 million in the world.
Ac-
60
Across the
million,
globe,
6
60
crore.
million.
And out of that, 22 million are in US.
Wow.
But what does it mean? 38 million are outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And China is 6.2 million people. Net
My
worth 10.
God. When I heard his press conference, I thought, what is he saying? How will a million people in the world afford $5 million? I'm just shocked.
Correct. Japan 2.8 million. With all these uncertainties with China and Taiwan, you'll be surprised. I'll share you the Taiwan figures. All uncertainty. See, immigration is for the wealthy people is actually a counter to uncertainty. They want security, particularly for the children. If they have created wealth, they want, particularly in the Asian continent, even Africa, and 10 million to 50 million, uh, you know, uh, and Russia is 400,000 people.
Wow.
800,000 people in India. Net
My
worth is
God.
10 million to 50 million net worth. 800,000.
Wow. Okay.
Now, these figures should be good enough for any, and Elon Musk is very much involved in this government in US. So I'm sure he's tracking data. Everything which is going to come as a policy is going to be data based. So what I'm
Absolutely.
saying, numbers maybe here or there may change a little bit, but not drastically. Now those numbers make sense for what they are trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll just be like, out of the 38 million which are not in the US, I need like a couple of million to come here every year in the next 4 years, and my deficit is gone.
True. Because see, according to me, there is no third term in US, right, for a president as per the constitution. So I'm sure he wants to leave a legacy. So maybe this is something in next 100 years people will remember that deficit was wiped out. If it is, if it is wiped out, we don't know, right? This is not the only way to wipe it out. There are many other ways. But so that is why he's talking of tariffs. So tariffs are reciprocal tariff. We did a program last week, Nikhil, and reciprocal tariffs is also about deficit and a negotiation tool.
So, I mean, this is where I guess the policy is coming from, because the potential is to attract that 38 million crowd who has a net worth of about $5 to $10 million, who could probably afford this kind of golden visa. But if we talk a little bit more about this, right? So uh, how would the global trade dynamics change, particularly for export-driven economies like India or China? Uh, or I mean, India is still on path to becoming an export-driven economy, but how would it change? Because I don't know if people realize like this is gonna move numbers and figures and wealthy people to the US.
So Nikhil, for many years, I have been telling companies in India, abroad, everywhere. I have a philosophy. That is that every business family with a decent business should have one member of their family outside India. It is something I promote. Why? See, if we want to be a true global player, we will have to have physical presence in countries. And international trade is about trust. Indian, our family system, there is a trust inbuilt. Trust is a very high form of capital. There is a very interesting Wolfenson's framework of 7 forms of capital. And one of the highest forms of capital is cultural capital, where trust is a very good example of cultural capital. So in India, we have high trust within families. So if suppose I'm just giving example, if nowadays we have nuclear families, but earlier we used to have larger families. But even take example of now, if um, in a family there are two children, one can be abroad because that will lead to increased trade for that company. It should be like a company strategy, because the moment we are working outside India, we come to know about the continuously we come to know about the best practices of our business and our product in the world by being present continuously abroad, and then our trade will grow. Our trade grows. This has been proven. Our largest trading partner is US, and our largest diaspora of India is in US. So I'm sure somebody should do a study that how it is impact on trade, because not just trade but even investment, remittance, right? So one family member, if they this as I mentioned, uh, 10 million to 50 million dollar worth, 800,000 people, one family member, if they settle abroad, whichever country, here we are talking of US, then it changes the trade dynamics. With a physical presence, it makes a big difference. And invest abroad. Now let me share with you, last year highest foreign remittance of any country in the world came to India. It used to be always China for 15 years. 15 years continuously, China used to get highest foreign remittance by their citizens. I mean, who may be citizens still, but maybe not citizens, but living abroad. This year, last year, $129 billion came to India as remittance. I think, if I'm not wrong, foreign direct investment was 80 or $85 billion, less than the foreign remittance by Indians living abroad. And highest came from UAE, second highest came from US. Now imagine, even after putting in $5 million in US by these families, as they grow their business, they are going to remit money to India because they have the families, communities here. They've been born here. They have a school. They have a college here. They will contribute to social infrastructure in the country. They will contribute to school, hospitals, colleges. They will contribute to their village, to their town, to their families. It is going to happen. It is natural. It is already happening. The figures are an evidence. So that way, investment in the long run is benefited. And then also our services. See, our last year export was $778 billion, out of which almost 341 billion is services, in which 80% is IT services. So that, in fact, I don't know if there is an element of in this gold visa, if there can, in their mind, in the US government mind, if there is an element of motivating American companies to also sponsor their very high senior
The
manpower
CXO
staff,
level, they're very senior talent. Yeah.
correct, senior talent, and offer them as an incentive. Some of the companies are paying $100 million as salaries,
Yeah. For the top AI roles and all, they end up paying very huge salaries.
right? So why would they not? I mean, $5 million for a citizenship, and it will be fast track. They will have retention of real talent. And for India, now we may say, oh, it's a loss for India if people from India go. No, so we have seen the remittance coming in. We have seen, when we talk of export, we are talking of foreign currency, but remittance is also foreign currency, and trade is also is going to increase, right? And the outflow will be there. So uh, and in any case, see, I mean, American immigration system, immigration processes, the bureaucracy there, the system is very efficient. They are going to vet everybody. It's not that anybody will just, who has a wealth will go. They will vet. They will check all. That is what that's what used to happen in EB5 also. In EB5 also, just not anybody can apply. So many, if I'm not wrong, about almost 60-70% applications were rejected in EB5. So it's not that anybody who applies will go there. There will be a vetting process. So it's not that any junk will come, right? So it will be always a quality manpower. And
The other
yeah,
part
so
he mentioned in his press conference, which was quite interesting, Jagaji, was he said that we will not be taxing their income outside of US, which was quite interesting from a trade perspective. And he said, here, whatever they earn, it'll be taxed, of course, like a normal citizen. And he made it a point to mention this. So, why do you think he mentioned this and the impact it will have on trade and export?
yeah, because see, it's very clear that the in any case, I mean, American citizens are taxed for income which they declare, and there is a double taxation agreement, the double taxation agreement treaty which US has with many countries. So in any case, and for a business community, it is very important to also look at the tax implication of their movement, because the that becomes a very major factor, because see, they are, remember, they are wealthy, right? It's not that they are from a struggling class. So uh, they are wealthy people, right? So tax is a very important factor in any investment decision. In any investment decision, this is basically an investment decision, right?
So,
So
let's move on to the next
yeah,
question.
yeah.
So, what are some potential opportunities and challenges this program presents, especially if you think from an export perspective? what are some interesting opportunities which one you already identified that, hey, have a presence there, and this is more incentive if you're in senior management of a company or something like that. But what are the opportunities you think this opens up?
So opportunities are like, it is also in a way political. See, today, if you see Indian diaspora in US is politically becoming very strong year upon year upon year, and that definitely has an impact on relationship with India. So that is only going to grow. Kamala Harris was an example. Uh, so there are so many, even in this government, there are so many people. Cash Patel, FBI head, and so many others. So that is at one level. Another is the talent. See, India has sufficient manpower. We are 1.5 billion people. Okay, so some last year, Nikhil, 331,000 Indians went to study in US. 331,000. Imagine. And 1.1 million people went to study in US from outside of US. Out of that, first time again, highest was from India. Otherwise, it used to be China. Last year, China was 290,000 students, and India was 331,000. Look at the gap. And then Korea, 50,000. Canada also, right? They're neighboring countries. Very interesting. And this connects to you is the point is Saudi Arabia, 35,000. And Vietnam, imagine 30,000 students went. Taiwan, 25,000. Japan, 20,000. Mexico, 15,000. Brazil, 10,000. Germany, 10,000. So these people are going to US to study. Now, many of them struggle with citizenship issues like H1B is uncertain. In the last term of President Trump also it was uncertain, and it makes people not to go. And uh, so if many of these families who are sending students who are from wealthy, that segment which I spoke about, who can afford to invest, they will stay back there. They have studied there, they understand the ecosystem, they have understood the environment there, they know
it
people
opens
there.
up it opens up a whole line of business basically for that family.
Exactly, and particularly because they are from business family, right? And so that way, the I will say the business family talent will not. So it's not that it will be a brain drain in terms of entrepreneurship. So where they their
Essentially, they'll become a more global company, right?
correct,
They're
exactly, and their Indian company is going to work with them and actually grow business faster, right? And so I think on all fronts, economic, social, political, uh, it is going to
so
benefit
this
in.
so this is very interesting because when I called you yesterday and we were talking about this, I was going to tell you what are going to people tell against this move. For Americans, it's an incredible matter of pride. Your citizenship, no other country has been able to put a value on the citizenship America has, and it's $5 million. That's crazy. And then it's going to reduce deficit, going to get investments. The people who will end up coming in are going to be wealthy, talented folks. Getting to $5 million liquid cash is very hard wherever you are, even if you're in America. And I mean, what are people going to tell against this? So what are your thoughts on that, Jagatji?
No, so first of all, let me tell you. So $5 million, but the closest in terms of value is UK, 2.5 million. Their program is 2.5 million euro. Others are Portugal, your Spain, $500,000, Greece, $250,000, Malta, 150,000, Cyprus, 300,000 euro, right? And Austria is 3 million euro. Okay, sorry, Austria is 3 million euro, right? And UK is 2.5 million euro. So Austria is number one, but Ireland 1 million euro. Turkey, part of EU, is $250,000, right? And New Zealand, oh yeah, New Zealand interesting, but New Zealand 3 million. It's New Zealand $3 million, and Australia is Australian $5 million. It's interesting, $5 million, but Australian $5 million. Their program. Then there are all these small Small countries, Antigua 100,000, Saint Kitts 150,000, Dominica 100,000, Grenada has been very popular with Indians, Saint Lucia 300,000. So the what I think most people are saying is that the pure commercialization of immigration, number one. But US has always been about capitalism. US has always been about capitalism. US largest industries is insurance, banking, healthcare, education, services, all. It is a capitalist country and it's a market oriented economy. And but what concern some people are voicing is that what type of people will come. Will criminals come? Will people who money laundering will happen? Now that is for the US to have a proper vetting system, which they always have. Even if I apply for a 10-year visa, I mean, I apply for a business visa or a visitor's visa, they do vetting. Right from our police station to everywhere, their vetting system is in place. So if they do so much of vetting for a visa to visit as a tourist, imagine how much vetting they will do for an investment visa. So I don't think that logic applies. And s- some people may say this is like selling immigrant. Yeah, it is. So America is all about business. America has always
Yeah, so
been.
when I was watching this, right, I was thinking, I wonder when India will have one of these programs, because India is becoming an attractive investment destination.
See, our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, has already declared the Viksit Bharat 2047, 2047, when we'll be 100 years, developed country. So I am sure we will, from then onwards, we will have same program, and people will queue up to apply. And
Absolutely.
actually, programs like CAA are also a very similar example, that is more on the social front, that Indian origin people who are in countries where there is persecution, they are allowed citizenship. It is nothing to do with the money, but then it's a immigration program, applies to Indian origin people living in countries where there is persecution. So that way, uh, there will be a refined program, because it is a very clear, all these countries which I mentioned to you who have this program are all developed countries. And when a situation comes in India, which I'm sure will come one day, when India will also become an aging society. Today, China had a one child policy, and it has come to a situation where they are facing a lot of challenges with the aging population, and they have revised their policy. Even two child, three child, they are now encouraging in certain provinces. So India may also reach that stage sometime, and at that time, then it may need manpower. And India, for the very fact that if we will become a developed country, would attract people to come to India and do business. So I'm
Absolutely.
sure 2047, what will be your age, Nikhil, that time?
I would be 54.
Oh, you are productive age. You, you, you will be able to sponsor somebody to come to India for a citizenship.
Right.
Uh,
Let's see. I hope that's the case. I hope stars are good to me. So
right.
let's move on to the last sort of question. Uh, can you speak a little bit more about, see, political leadership across the globe, right? With a move like this, I'm sure should be a bit shaken up, but I don't know, like, it's very rare when you come across a policy where you really can't find much holes, at least as far as I can tell. So overall, right, how important is the global political landscape, specifically from the export context?
No, see, export, again, as I mentioned, the definition of competitiveness. Export is the benchmark of competitiveness. A lot of people tell me in India, why you are motivating small medium enterprise to export. India is such a big country. Whole world want to export to India. India is a large economy. We have consumption-oriented economy. But the moment we start exporting, we come to know about the best practices of our product and business in the world, and our business changes. It becomes more competitive even within India. So there is no two things about 2 points about that. I mean, the fact that uh, China, see, 1981 Chinese and Indian economy was similar size. Today, if it is $19 trillion, it is because of the export push.
So you're saying like how a business when they do an export push from a competitive perspective, uh, it, it helps you benchmark, right?
Correct.
So as citizens of different countries, I guess policies like this actually should make you question your government.
Absolutely. No, true. It is. It is. See, it is certainly because it is. If people from India on the other hand were migrating, then it is also a question mark on the ease of doing business in India. If it
Absolutely.
is if people, why would people want to immigrate? But particularly wealthy people. So my logic has always been, and I always tell Indian companies that families that you should, one person from your family should immigrate. Not everybody. Business should not close in India. Then that's a problem. Business should continue in India, and but one member
So,
can be outside.
so there's a very interesting question from JK Sharma. So, JK Sharma ji, thank you for the question. Is it okay to allow migrating Indians to take out large quantity of countries' foreign exchange? And I guess this would apply to any country, right? This would be a concern which anyone would have for their country. The people who will be
Yeah.
leaving,
See,
yeah,
see, Nikhil and Sharma ji, as I said very clearly, these are the same people who are remitting to India $129 billion every year. So we may say foreign exchange is going, but how much foreign exchange is coming? Would that be coming if people had not gone? So on the one side, we may say brain drain is happening. So then how $129 billion would have come to India? And
right,
how it is more actually now more than foreign investment, foreign direct investment? Why are we not getting more foreign direct investment than remittance from Indians abroad? So it is a two. It is so you cannot have the both sides of the cake.
yeah,
It is a give and take world. It's a give and take world, particularly with a president like Trump, who is a businessman. He is a hard negotiator, and he is not going to allow to say that only you benefit and we will not benefit. So
so for
first of
him,
all,
I guess all this is
and
also a mechanism.
also,
Yeah,
Nikhil also, Indian companies are already sending foreign exchange outside of India to do business. Jindals have plants all over the world. Mittals
correct,
have plants all over the world. They send Tata has the factory, SR has the factory. Foreign currency is going out, but
right,
then those companies are making profit and paying tax in India.
correct.
And from
It
that tax, Indian economy works. From that tax, the development work takes place. From that tax, we are funding 800 million poor people ration.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it is a to and fro thing. It is not a one way thing that only foreign currency is going. It is coming also. And
And
and again and again, Nikhil, sorry, like, so when our exports grow, we will get foreign currency. As I said, if trade increases, we will get foreign currency.
yeah, exactly. I think putting a restriction is what would create a issue more than this, because when you put restrictions, you're closing off trade and having this is sort of open trade itself. And as you rightly said, I think a major chunk of the people who will end up going will be from a company's perspective rather than individuals just going. It will be an established business and things like that.
Correct.
The next question is it's a very interesting question. Uh, so JK Sharma ji has a counterpoint for you, Jagat sir. Jagat bhai, the migrant immigrants are not bringing in forex. It is being sent by our workers in Gulf and NRIs. Interesting.
Not really. There is a, yes, agree, high percentage coming from Gulf, but also from businesses. Just in Ras Al Khaimah, which is one of the smallest Emirates of Dubai, there are 32,000 Indian companies
Wow.
registered.
Okay.
So what are they doing? They are making money and sending to India. But yes, but Sharmaji is right. Also, our workers. So when our workers were going, we were saying there is brain drain happening.
Right.
So it's not brain drain. Even workers are sending. That is also good. It should they should send. I mean, because they have their families to support in India. But the same thing can be actually a revolutionary thing for India. The way workers have supported India, same way business community can support and will support, and it is
Absolutely.
supporting. So
So let's
if you see Ellen Mittal Group now, Ellen Mittal Group, how much business interest they have in India?
right.
They so much of investment they have done, and so many others, right, who are abroad. So that is a two-way traffic
So
that
this
is
is an
going.
interesting question from Vivek Shah. He says, "Do you think dual citizenship should be allowed by India? It could help get more exports." I'm not sure, Jagat sir. How do you answer this?
Yeah, I don't know about what government thought process is, government of India thought process is on that, but it should be okay. I don't see any kind of a challenge, but maybe there could be some countries defined, you know, because in terms of, for example, in terms of foreign direct investment, we already have a policy that any neighboring country of India, there are some restrictions and there are some approval routes. So it is a region specific policy. So same way there can be a dual citizenship allowed on some region specific countries. You know.
So let's move on to the next question. Tony asks, "Do you deal with US businesses, Jagatji?"
Yes, we have been dealing with US businesses for 20 years. Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question, Tony. Guys, any other questions, please comment below. If not on this live stream, Jagat sir will definitely reply to you. Thank you so much for this, Jagatji. I thought we'll do a 10-15 minute quick live stream about this, but it's gone on for 42 minutes. A very interesting topic. I would say from a political perspective, he's setting the benchmark for global politics, like US usually does for every industry. So big fan, especially for this because probably it'll help them pay down their uh, their debt, their deficit, and their debt, and probably gives you that even in government you can have innovations and innovations in policy. So
Absolutely. Why not? Certainly. It is America is all about innovation. The success of US technological advancement is all about even innovation and immigrants. I will say two eyes, innovation and immigrants. Simple. It is interconnected. Both are interrelated, absolutely. And so you are
and
right, Michael. Hmm.
So thank you all so much for tuning in. I see a lot of you have joined us from the beginning and are with here till the end. We will, of course, the next episode of Export Fundas will be out. We will let you know when it's out. See you all in our next episode. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow on LinkedIn. See you all soon. Bye bye.
Thank you, Nikhil. Wonderful. Thank you. Bye.